Hey y'all. So I'm on my lunch break and I'm doing a double at work today. First of all, it's the weekend. I always do doubles on the weekend. But the lunch shift was dry. I made $9 whole. And I have a 15-year-old, a young dude, who didn't even tip me. Like, I was expecting at least $3. But I didn't get $3. But it's going to be busy during the night shift, so I'm not even tripping. Plus, most servers know that the lunch shift is like literally community service. You know, you just do it because you have to. You make all your money during the night shift. But anyways, so I got a long break is all I'm trying to say. What's today? Saturday. So on Thursday, 5 o'clock in the morning, I was up. Because I be up between 3 and 5. Like, when they say God will wake you up between 3 and 5 to have a conversation with you, that is so true. If you wake up between 3 to 5 a.m., just start meditating. You don't necessarily have to pray. Just start meditating. Start focusing. Start, manifesting. If you're going to get up, work on your business, whatever. But 3 to 5 is definitely the time where God is trying to talk to us. But anyways. So I get a text, and this dude, he go, okay, so this was this dude that I used to converse with, and I have been stalling making this video because I didn't want to give him the energy. But for some reason, like I said, all of the men I used to talk to, who I dated, who wanted to date me, or who I wasted my time on, is hitting me up. So anyways, his name is Alabama. Alabama texts me, and he says, good morning. I don't want to make this awkward, but I've been having trouble sleeping because I've been worried about you, and I just wanted to let you know that I still care. I hope you and the kids are doing well, no matter what, comma. No matter what, I'll always be here if you need me, in case you were wondering. And then he puts in parentheses, I had to get that off my chest. I didn't respond. And I didn't respond because I didn't want to. But while I'm sitting here in the car, I'm thinking, oh, I should respond. I should say something. And then so I drafted this. It's not awkward, but pointless. You weren't there for me when I needed you the first time. You were a complete waste of time and an experience I could have went without. Hopefully you can move on and finally get some rest. Now, I'm going to send that after I'm done recording this message. I got at least 20 more minutes on my break. And I promise you, I am not going to waste a whole 20 more minutes of my break on this man and this story. But because I am working on being a YouTuber and my tea is entertainment, let me tell y'all about this dude, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously. So I met this dude. We had a group of friends back in the day, and we was just a part of this friend group. It was like a bunch of us, and he was a part of that friend group. And he was conscious, like he was the woke friend, like he just seemed like he was very highly intelligent. He is very highly intelligent, but he was just the intelligent one. So that's the one you go to when you kind of want some intellectual conversations. He was like into conspiracy theories, just like cool, but he's also funny. So I was going through a tough time in my life, and I was like, hey, I'm moving to your city. And, oh no, okay, hold on. Before that, I was, he was like, oh, I'm coming to town. Let's hook up. So I was like, all right, cool. Whenever we in town, like he's that friend. So he came to my town, and then we went out to eat. We had a great time. We was laughing, joking. It was just like, we just kicked it. We hit it off. And then he invited me upstairs, and I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to go upstairs. We're just friends, and I do not want to waste my time letting any man put his energy inside of me. That's not what I'm wasting my time on. If I'm gonna waste my time, it's not going to be letting a man put his energy inside of me, right? So, but we was still cool. We was just talking, whatever. But I saw where he was going with it. And then he was telling me how his brother and his brother's wife lived in Mexico. And I was telling him that I was going through health issues and I needed help with my digestion. And he was saying like, yeah, they're in Mexico and we can go to Mexico, and they're into that. And he was just pumping up his brother so heavy on like how his brother was into herbalism and how he can help me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm pumped up. And he's like, yeah, we should go. And I'm like, bet. So I'm thinking we can actually go to Mexico. I got a digestive issue, and I know for sure if I go to Honduras, I'll be cured within an instant. I'm telling y'all, as soon as I get my big paycheck, I'm going straight to Honduras, and I'm going to cure myself. The cure is in Honduras, okay? So maybe if we can go to Mexico, I'm pretty sure I can find the cure in Mexico. If it's in Honduras, it's somewhere, right? So we're talking, and we're just talking for weeks or whatever, and then he tells me he doesn't have a passport. And then he tells me that he's been trying for years to get one. He couldn't, and all these obstacles why he couldn't get a passport. And I said to myself, and myself said, And I said, well, how do you get to Mexico, or Mexico, either one of them, without a passport? So this man been sitting here trying to gas me the whole time, and so now I'm triggered. Because you could have said, oh, shoot, well, let me get my passport so we can go to Mexico. I never thought I needed it. You could have said something about it. But this whole time we talking about going to Mexico, you don't even fucking have a passport. So I was all like, look, you are trash. And I went off on him. And I don't remember what I said. I just remember thinking, you are full of shit, and you are one of the men that every woman should avoid. Gassing me up like that, and now I'm done because I believe that you can go to Mexico. You got this good job. He said he made under $100,000 a year, just under $100,000 a year. So if you make just under $100,000 a year, that's probably 75 to 80. You can afford Mexico. I can afford Mexico as a server. I can't afford Mexico as Bailey's mother. Bailey's mother can't afford Mexico, but Dominique, I can. I have money, but Bailey's mother's poor. So I know for sure you with your good job, you can go to Mexico. But you don't have a passport. So I'm triggered. I'm mad. And I snap on him. I'm like, I don't want to do this. A whole year go by. And I move into a city. And I'm like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I overreacted. Hey, I'm moving to your city. I was like, I'm moving to your city. What happened? I was like, oh, I'm moving to your city. And he was like, all right, bet. Sorry, y'all. So the storm is about to come through, and out of nowhere, the wind just picked up. So I kind of got distracted trying to make sure the wind's not in the background. Because I'm sitting in the car with my windows down trying to get a little breeze. But anyway, so I said, I'm moving to your city, whatever. So he's like, all right, bet. And then we end up dating. We just hanging out, you know what I mean? Like, we end up dating. And I told him, I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship. But if you can convince me, then, then I'll do it. But I don't want to be in a relationship. And that's my whole thing with any man. I do not want to be a man's wife. So if you want me to be your wife, I promise you're going to have to be outside my window with a boombox. You're going to have to convince me that I should be your wife. But I do not want to be a wife so bad. I've done it before. He did a great job. I'm done. I don't want to be anybody's anything. I am single, sexy, happy, free. Y'all know that song. Making my own money. But anyways, so I was like, okay, we'll see. Long story short, and the only reason why I'm not going to go into the long story is because I do not want to recapture that energy. But I'm just going to list all the things that this man lied about. Number one, that $100,000 that he makes a year, under 100,000 that he makes a year. Just under 100,000 is just under my behind. He makes a whopping $22 an hour. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought that this was on video and y'all can see my face. I can't even get mad at him because $22 an hour is under 100,000. You said just under. You are way just under. You are a couple of just unders. What? You didn't have to tell me how much you made. You could have kept that to yourself. You could have said, hey, all I'm making is 22. I got you as much as I can. But don't expect too much. But I was expecting $100,000 man, and you are $22. And here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with a $22 man. What's wrong with a $22 man is a $22 man saying that he $100,000 man. When you ain't 100,000, you are a what's 22? 40,000? I don't even know. I can't even do the math. It ain't 100. We a good 40 to 60 short of whatever you said you were. Okay. He said that he was saving up for his house and he was about to buy his house. So he was just like, he was staying with his brother. But he was like, we can just go to my mom's house and rent the room from her until I get the house. Okay, bet. This is when he was 100,000 man. No, he sleeps on his brother's couch because he doesn't have anywhere to go. And his mama won't let him stay there. And the only reason why his mama let him stay there is because I'm in the picture. So I don't even know that while we're there. I find out in the middle of it. I'm starting to find out. But in the beginning, it was like, oh, you know. Oh, and don't even get me started on his mother. That lady was literally a demon. She was an angel, but she was a bad angel. She wasn't a good angel. But she definitely, oh my gosh, that lady, oh my fucking gosh. I keep saying I'm gonna stop cursing, but these people, that is the energy, that energy. He told me, I hate when men think because I'm light-skinned with curly hair that means that I'm gonna allow them to disrespect a woman who looks other than me. That's not gonna work for me at all whatsoever. Never. It never has happened and never will happen. Fellas, please don't ever think that it's okay for you to disrespect anybody, any woman in front of me, especially a black woman. So he gonna say that everybody knows that when you're on hard times, you he said you get you a fat, ugly black woman. And I looked at him, and he said, I know, but it's the truth. He said, they gonna take care of you. And I keep thinking y'all can see my face. I'm looking at him like, why would you say, even if that is true, why would you say that to me? That's a lesson I didn't have to learn. You could have kept that to yourself. I didn't need to know that. But I mean, duh, it makes sense. You think that they have low self-esteem because they're big and fat. No, that's not how it works. So, fast forward, I finally meet his ex-wife. And when I tell you that this woman was, oh my gosh, I tell you, I absolutely fell in love with her instantly. She reminded me so much of myself. Like, she's just such a bookworm. She's like, the way her energy, it was just like, I don't know, it's just something about her. It's just everything about her was just me. Like, I can kick it with her. And the only reason why I'm like I got her number now, and I might call her one day, but I highly doubt it. You know what I mean? But she was just cool. But she was heavy set, and she was chocolate. And when I saw her, I instantly got mad at him. And I was like, I would never fuck with you after this. I can't. He became the ugliest man I've ever seen when I met his ex-wife. It's like, I had already started learning things about him. By now, I had realized that he was a compulsive liar. But, I'm going to tell you that story next. But when I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh. And then his biggest mistake was him introducing me to her and like dropping me off at her house and leaving, and we're being friends. So now her and I are talking, and she's sitting there just telling everything. And this man don't take care of none of his kids. He don't take care of this kid. He don't take care of that kid. And at some point, I'm not trying to tell her story, but I'm just going to say that she said that she met him and she knew about one kid or maybe two kids. And she said his mama dropped 5 kids at her house and said, let me tell you about my son. Again, the mama is an ass, but she don't play. And that's why I respect her. But she dropped 5 kids off at that lady house when she thought there was 0 to 1. You know what I mean? And he gonna say, well, what you gonna do about it now? She was already pregnant. She was like, I had already fell in love. What was I supposed to do? And that's what he did to her. And I'm talking about that raggedy YNs. Because he ain't a YN. He a old N. But this is how they do. And then they call us stupid and dumb for believing that they do. But you popped up with 5 freaking kids on her. And then you gonna tell her, like, what you gonna do now? And then you only got with her because you thought she was unattractive. And the fucking egg on his face is she's not even unattractive. She just doesn't dress. All she have Shorty do her hair and get dressed and she's fire. She just doesn't dress because she's chill. She don't want to. She sweatpants and t-shirts just like me. But don't get it twisted. Because if I go get her and take her somewhere, don't act like they're not going to try to get her. But you? Nah, you're trash. He was a compulsive liar. That man lied about any and everything. There was nothing that he can tell the truth on. If you said this is a can of Coke, he would try to lie to you. If you say go get the can of Coke out the fridge, he would tell you there's no Coke in the fridge. And you open the fridge and it'd be Coke right there. And I'm like, why didn't you get the Coke? There's another instance where I was sick. I was sick as a dog. And I needed some tea, and I asked for chamomile and lavender tea. The only tea that I drink is chamomile and lavender tea, especially when I'm sick to a certain, whatever my illness is, whatever the sickness that I'm feeling. So I needed lavender and chamomile. And he said, oh, have you tried mommy's digestion tea? It works for her. I said, yeah, I don't really want that. I just want my chamomile lavender. So after a 5-minute dialogue of what he wanted to give me, and I asked repeatedly for my chamomile lavender and peppermint. That's exactly what it was, because I need that peppermint cooling. And he was like, oh, well, this digestion has all of this in it. Heard, but it also has some other stuff in it that I don't want. I didn't say that. I didn't explain to him why I didn't want it. I just told him that I didn't want it and what I wanted. Do you know this mother father brought me back what I didn't want? And I said, what is this? He said, I just figured you should just try it. Now, if I throw this cup of hot tea in your freaking face, then I would be wrong for not controlling my anger instead of you just not being stupid. Why would you bring me this tea when I repeatedly freaking asked? See, now he's triggering me and I gotta go to work in 3 minutes. I repeatedly asked you for chamomile and peppermint, chamomile, lavender, peppermint, and you brought me some cool digestive because it got it in that. I'm allergic to half of the other stuff that's in there. I don't have to explain that to you. He said, well, you should have just told me. I don't have to tell you that I asked you for what I wanted, and I know we have what I wanted because I was there when I put it in the cabinet. Why can't you just get me what I asked? Why are you trying to tell me that I need something other than what I asked for? That's a huge problem. Something's wrong with you. I was using his son's car, and this is going to be the last story. His son had an extra car that he wasn't using, and I was using the car. I'm not even going to tell you about how much he wanted for this car and all the stipulations that came with it. That's another story that I probably don't want to have to go through. I'm using the son's car, and the father's supposed to be getting insurance on the car. The father gets insurance on the car, but he gets some type of weekly insurance. I didn't know they made weekly insurance, but of course he knows, because he is the world's cheapest, most conniving, manipulative man. So of course he's gonna know some, side hustle scams. No disrespect for the people who use weekly insurance. I get you. I'm just saying, I'm not surprised that he was the one who taught me that. Oh my gosh. So I work near the train tracks, and this train track is extremely active. And maybe 12 times a day this train is going off. So but I'm glad the train did go by, so I can calm down my energy a little bit, because I just needed to breathe. I really don't like reliving certain situations, because I don't want to have to relive certain situations. But I was using the son's car, and then he was getting weekly insurance. So there was this one time I was working. I had a day off, and I had been stressed. I've been going through some things, so I went and I drove up to the water. Most of y'all know, if y'all watch me, I just type in waterfall and then I drive, and I don't care if it's in this state or the next state. Anywhere within the south border I will drive to. So I went for a ride, and I went for the water, and then his mother asked me, she just started grilling me about why I was driving and why I went so far and all kind of stuff. She's super controlling, and again, I don't want to talk about that. So because she was upset with the fact that I drove too far, in her opinion, I drove an hour away. That was too far for her, in her opinion. So she called her grandson. It was just make sure your father got insurance on the car. So I called him, and I'm like, your mama on that petty shit again? She just called your son to make sure that there was insurance on the car. And then so I'm like, I said, but you got insurance, right? So we cool? He was like, yeah, I got the insurance, we good. And I'm like, okay, cool. Long story short, he did not have insurance. What he did was he showed the initial proof, and then when his son said, well, this says it's weekly and I need the proof every week, he said, I'm not about to be showing you proof every week that I'm handling my business. I'm your father. I'm your daddy. First of all, barely, okay? All you did was supply his mother the tools to get him, but we're not going to go into details about how I found out that you didn't take care of not one of your kids did you take care of. I had to tell him on Mother's Day to go to his ex-wife's house and watch his kid. He told me I was about to go over there. No, you wasn't, because I just got off the phone with her to tell her Happy Mother's Day. And she said, do you know this man canceled on me? He was supposed to come get Junior. And he said he not going to be able to come do it because he got something else to do. I said, girl, give me a second. Hung up, called him. I said, so what you doing? I said, so when you going to go get Junior? He said, oh, I was about to go over there now. I said, good, because that girl over there is stressing his Mother Day. He was like, I was always going to go over there. And then she called me back an hour later talking about he said he on his way. He'll be here in 20 minutes. She said, what did you say to him? I said, girl, I don't fucking play. You better go get that goddamn boy. That's what I told him. Go get your goddamn son so she can have a day to herself. So don't try to sit there and father me or him. Nah, none of that. So, clearly, if you've been watching his video for the past 24 minutes, you can clearly see that this man lied about that too. He didn't have the insurance. So when this was happening, I had already been planning my exit to leave, but I always try to wait till the last minute so I can have that last minute money. But I had been stacking up the money to leave. Okay. So, I had the night before, I had a dream. something happened in this dream, and I don't remember what happened in this dream, but I have very vivid dreams, and when my dreams tell me to do something, I do it. So I had a dream, and in the morning, all I know was that I start packing. I had already packed my stuff, but I put it in the car. Something told me so early in the morning, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Again, I'm up early. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm putting my stuff in the car. So all of this started happening like around 10. So they start popping off around with the fighting and all that stuff. So when that was happening, his mother went in that back room, and I went and got the last of my things, got in the car, took off. I went and dropped my car off where I was going, and then I get text messages from his mother. Please bring the vehicle back. It's not insured. You don't have permission to drive it. So I call him, and I'm like, what's going on? What y'all going through? I already know, but I just want to hear the lies for some reason. At this point, I don't know why I'm amused by the bullshit and the lies. So I'm trying to find out what's going on. He's just like, they gonna come get the car. Oh, because I said I'm at work. So I told him to meet me at work. So that way he can get the car and we can find out what's going on and we can talk whatever. And he was not answering my call. I kept trying to call him. He would not answer my call. Then I text him, and then he texts me and he says, just leave the key underneath the tire. He about to come get the car. And then I call him. He's not answering. He says, I really don't feel like dealing with this right now. This is too much for me. Motherfucker, I almost called him the B word, but I didn't. And mother effer came out because I don't want to disrespect a black man. But at this point, you are exactly what I wanted to call you. I'm just not going to say it. But it's giving the energy of you are a. Because you could not even face a woman. You did all those lies and you just couldn't be accountable for anything. And now you got the nerves to say, if you need me, I'm here. You weren't there when I did need you. So why the hell are you telling me that you're here? You're not here. You're here to do what? Waste my time? I promise you, I will go back to LA and stand on a corner of Fig before I ever waste my time dealing with you. And matter of fact, that's why I didn't respond, because I was triggered when I saw that. I wasn't triggered like how I'm triggered now. I said, like, what the hell is the man talking about? In case you're wondering. And then he used every punctuation and comma and period, parentheses, not to make this awkward. It's pointless. This is not awkward. You were pointless that whole time. Sometimes, like, there's a lot of my exes that I can understand why God made me go through it. I understand what chaos was for. I understood what Miami was for. Miami wasn't my ex, but I understood what that experience was for. I understood what it was like being with chaos. I knew I learned and grew from both of them, even though they weren't the best experiences. I have other bad experiences, but that was a waste of my time. So when I go home and I pray to God and I'm like, God, what was you doing? Like, what? He literally said, I just needed to keep you busy because I was trying to do something else. And I'm sorry for that one. Because no, I didn't learn anything from that. I did get this story. And like I said, I met his wife and I met, another friend down there. So, but that was a horrible experience. It was just horrid. And you got the nerve to say, I just want to make sure you okay. Sir, I'm done.